Welcome back to the Smart Garden. You finally pulled the garlic, breathed a sigh of relief, and assumed your garden is officially on vacation. I hate to break it to you, but soil doesn't do vacations. Left alone, it simply spirals into a midlife crisis. Yesterday, it was a bustling metropolis of nutrients. Today, it's a cracked, barren wasteland feeling incredibly sorry for itself. Abandon it now, and by spring, you'll be trying to plant carrots in solid concrete. But don't panic. We have exactly 1 month to deploy the green cavalry. Today, we're ranking the 15 best cover crops that will gladly do all the heavy lifting for you, while you sit back with a hot cup of coffee. The thing is, after pulling up the onions and garlic, our garden bed is feeling, to put it mildly, a bit hungover. Leaving it like this is an absolute crime against your future harvest. Look, there are 3 main reasons to act immediately. First, we are clearing the karma. I mean, the soil. Onions and garlic are great guys, but they love to leave a bunch of nasty parting gifts in the dirt, namely rot spores and downy mildew. The right cover crops act like a botanical antiseptic. They release compounds into the ground that force all these nasty infections to pack their tiny bags and get the heck out of your garden. Second, we activate living plow mode. All summer long we've been watering these beds, and the rains only added insult to injury. As a result, the top layer has essentially baked into solid asphalt. The roots of cover crops punch right through this stubborn crust, breaking it up from the inside and leaving the soil as soft and spongy as a fresh cake. And notice, this happens without you ever swinging a shovel. Third, we are saving our hard-earned cash. If you leave the ground totally bare, the autumn rains will simply wash away whatever nitrogen and potassium you have left. But a thick green carpet of cover crops will soak up all these valuable nutrients like a giant sponge, locking them away safely in their leaves until spring. So, the deal is incredibly simple. Either toss a handful of seeds into the dirt right now, or spend a fortune on chemical fertilizers and break your back digging next spring. The choice seems pretty obvious to me. So let's dive into the plants themselves. Number 1, white mustard. This plant is an absolute sprinter. It pops up in just 3 days, growing with the panicked urgency of a commuter who just missed their morning train. Its secret weapons are essential oils that give the soil a fantastic scrub, sending scab, late blight, and those nasty wireworms fleeing in terror. A cool bonus, while it's young and tender, the first 3 weeks, pinch off the tops into your salads for a great peppery kick. The golden rule, never let it flower. Once yellow blossoms appear, the stems turn to solid wood. Instead of soft green manure, you're basically growing firewood. Chop it down after 30 days at 8 inches tall. Slice it at the base, leaving it on the bed to contemplate its brief existence. It is the absolute fastest soil detox out there. Number 2, oats. If your post-summer soil currently resembles a tragically burnt piece of toast, sow oats. Its incredibly fibrous root system works absolute magic, transforming heavy, compacted dirt into soft velvet in just 3 to 4 weeks. These roots also secrete clever compounds that neutralize root rot and fend off nasty garden infections. A culinary note, those young, juicy oat shoots are amazing for green smoothies, delivering a morning energy boost quite frankly superior to espresso. But the real triumph of oats is that they reward the incredibly lazy gardener. Sow them in August and put your tools away. The first hard frost will simply take them out, causing them to collapse into a perfect winter mulch. Come spring, just a lazy swing of the rake will do. 0 effort needed. Number 3, Phacelia. Let us bow to the undisputed queen of cover crops. She is garden royalty, sharing absolutely 0 pests or diseases with any vegetable known to man. You can plant quite literally anything after her. She soothes acidic soil tantrums, turning the dirt wonderfully fluffy, and a 15-degree Fahrenheit freeze, she simply couldn't care less. A fancy bonus, her lovely purple blossoms turn your plot into a nectar-fueled block party for local bees. You can even pluck these flowers to garnish salads or desserts, making your dinner look like a high-end restaurant dish. The catch? The seeds are microscopic. Scatter them, and give the soil a light scratch with a rake. Then, mow her down ruthlessly the very moment the grand floral party begins and she starts to bloom. Number 4. Spring vetch, the vanguard of the legume cavalry. This scrambling vine creates a living blanket over your soil. Its roots host clever bacteria that snatch nitrogen straight out of thin air and bottle it up underground. It is the perfect banquet prep for next year's tomatoes, peppers, and eggplants. A culinary note: snip the young shoots and curly tendrils into your salad. They taste exactly like fresh sweet peas, granting you a delightfully smug farm-to-table moment. The catch? Vetch is hopelessly lazy and prone to dramatic collapsing. Sow it alongside a reliable buddy, like oats, to act as a sturdy walking cane. It will grow twice as fast. Chop it down during the budding phase, well before tough seed pods appear. It's the ultimate feast for very hungry garden veggies. Number 5. Oilseed radish. If your post-summer soil currently resembles a solid concrete cinder block, meet your new best friend. Known quite rightly as the tillage radish, its massive taproot burrows down up to 3 feet, aggressively dynamiting heavy clay and shattering the hardpan like an underground bulldozer. A culinary twist: the young, juicy leaves are entirely edible, offering a great peppery bite to your standard greens. The brilliant bit? Sow it in August, and you can absolutely ditch the shovel. It spends the fall growing massive underground carrots. Winter frosts then ruthlessly turn them to mush, leaving you by spring with wonderfully porous soil, riddled with deep drainage channels. It's the ultimate choice for fixing heavy clay while steadfastly refusing to dig. Before we march on to our next green recruit, take a brief second to hit those like and subscribe buttons. It requires absolutely zero physical exertion. You won't even need to put your gardening gloves on, and it helps the channel out tremendously. Plus, it is way easier than actually digging up a vegetable bed. All done? Awesome. Let's keep moving before our coffee gets completely cold. Number 6. Buckwheat. If you are incredibly impatient and want the fastest results, behold your champion sprinter. From sowing to mowing takes a mere 30 to 35 days. Buckwheat is a botanical wizard. It magically dissolves stubbornly locked up soil phosphates, serving them on a silver platter for next year's veggies. A culinary note: if you accidentally let it go to seed, congratulations, you've grown your very own organic buckwheat. You can cook it up into a trendy superfood bowl, or dry the young blossoms for a nice, fragrant tea. The catch? It faints at the mere mention of frost. Sow it promptly in August, while the earth is still reasonably warm. Chop it down the second it begins flowering, while the stems are soft and haven't turned into tough structural lumber for the garden. Number 7. Winter rye. This is the heavy artillery, the absolute heavyweight champ of the garden. It tackles neglected plots by secreting phenolic acids, a brilliant botanical trick called allelopathy. It literally forces quackgrass and dandelions to pack their tiny bags and move over to the neighbor's yard. A culinary note: if you harvest the young, milky grains, you can bake an incredibly trendy artisanal sourdough bread or boil up a highly nutritious morning cereal. A dire warning: rye forms a phenomenally tough root mat. Leave it too long in the spring, and digging your bed will be harder than breaking solid asphalt. Mow it down ruthlessly before it hits 8 inches tall. Need to evict stubborn, hooligan weeds from your plot? Rye will step in and restore strict, absolute order. Number 8. Field peas. Our good old friend. As a cover crop, it blasts off like a rocket ship, sprouting almost instantly and building a massive mountain of lush green mass in just a month. It effortlessly enriches your topsoil with light organic matter and a heavy dose of nitrogen. The best part? This is easily the most delicious cover crop out there. Snip off those juicy top shoots and curly tendrils to make your dinner look fancy, or just snack on them straight out of the dirt while you're pretending to work in the garden. The catch? Slugs and birds absolutely adore them. To stop local wildlife from treating your garden like a free, all-you-can-eat buffet, make sure to rake the seeds about 1.5 inches into the dirt and lightly tamp it down. Chop it down right at peak bloom, when the leaves are completely bursting with nutrients. It's the ultimate double combo. You get to munch on sweet green shoots, and your soil gets a priceless nitrogen feast before winter sets in. Number 9. Spring canola. This plant is a literal factory for pumping out free organic matter. In just a few short weeks, it grows such a ridiculously thick canopy of leaves that any weeds trapped underneath simply wave the white flag and give up the ghost from a total lack of sunlight. Plus, this plant is notoriously greedy. It grabs onto the potassium in your topsoil with an absolute death grip, completely refusing to let the heavy fall rains wash it away. A culinary note. Young canola greens pack a fantastic vitamin punch and make a great addition to cozy fall soups and stews. The catch? It is a total water hog. If August is running dry, you must give the bed a good soak after sowing, or you'll be waiting for sprouts until the winter freezes hit. Mow it down right before the massive floral show begins. To ruthlessly choke out weeds and hoard all your soil's potassium, this is your absolute winning ticket. Number 10. Crimson clover. Wrapping up this block is an absolute international superstar. It weaves a carpet so incredibly dense that weeds don't even stand a chance, and its blazing red, cone-shaped blooms will instantly turn your basic dirt patch into a cover shot for a gardening magazine. To the kitchen. You can actually dry those gorgeous red flowers and brew them into a deliciously fragrant, vitamin-packed tea, or toss the young leaves straight into your fresh salads. The nuance here? Clover takes its sweet time and grows a bit slower than the brassicas, so just be patient. The best part is, you don't even have to mow it in the fall. It acts like a cozy winter blanket for your soil, protecting it from hard freezes. And come spring, it magically transforms into ready-made organic mulch. If you want to make your yard look stunning, feed the local bees, and lock out weeds all at once, this is your ultimate pick. Number 11. Barley. If it's a scorching, bone-dry August out there, and you have absolutely zero desire to drag a hose around every 2 days, barley is your guy. It is the most drought-tolerant, low-maintenance grain in the entire cover crop lineup. Its roots instantly punch through the topsoil, locking down whatever moisture and nutrients are left before they vanish. To the kitchen. Young barley shoots, aka barley grass, are a massive global superfood. Juice them up or dry them into a trendy vitamin powder that people pay entirely too much for at fancy health stores. The nuance? Barley grows lightning fast and absolutely hates having wet feet. If your soil resembles a swampy clay pit, you're better off with oats. Mow it down about a month after sowing, well before the seed heads get tough. For a blazing hot August, where you flat out refuse to water constantly, this is your ultimate, hassle-free soil savior. Number 12. Lupin. If your dirt is poor, acidic, or basically just a giant sandbox, call in the lupins. Its massive taproot punches right through cement-like hardpan, diving down an impressive 6 feet. Lupin does the impossible. It dredges up hidden phosphorus from the darkest depths and serves it up as an easy-to-digest buffet for your future veggies. The bonus? These specific cover crop flowers are absolutely gorgeous and will pull in local bumblebees like a total magnet. A crucial warning. Make sure you sow the annual agricultural varieties, white, blue, or yellow, not the fancy perennials from grandma's flower beds. You must also mow it down strictly before the seed pods form. Otherwise, it turns into tough lumber that takes an absolute eternity to break down. For poor, acidic soils, you simply won't find a better natural phosphorus miner. Number 13. Daikon radish. Yes, the giant Japanese radish. As a cover crop, it acts as the ultimate natural biodrill. Its massive white torpedoes plunge deep into the earth, breaking up compacted soil way better than an expensive, heavy-duty rototiller. The absolute best part? You kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Leave the small, wonky, ugly roots in the dirt to rot and do their job, but take the massive, perfect ones straight to the kitchen. Grate them up with carrots and a creamy dressing for an insanely crunchy, healthy fall slaw. The nuance? Daikon is a short-day plant. By August, it totally stops bolting and goes all in on plumping up that root. Just mow down the greens for mulch and let the remaining roots rot underground all winter. You get a fantastic harvest for your kitchen, plus a deeply tilled garden bed for spring, without lifting a single finger. Number 14. Sorghum Sudan grass. Wrapping up our grain cavalry is this absolute champion of biomass. In just a single month, it can easily shoot up to eye level, pumping out actual tons of lush organic matter. Its incredibly aggressive roots will literally shred right through heavily compacted hardpan like a subterranean wood chipper. A fun bonus: those young, juicy stalks are actually quite pleasant to chew on while you work. Thanks to their high sugar content, it's basically like having your very own garden-grown sugar cane. The catch? This plant is a heat-loving southern belle. You need to sow it immediately after pulling your garlic, while the dirt is still baking in the hot sun. Chop it down when it hits about 15 to 20 inches tall, and just let it lay there as a deep, thick mulch. If you need to frantically generate a massive mountain of organic matter before winter, this is your ultimate fast-track solution. Number 15. White sweet clover. Wrapping up our list is the ultimate garden rescue team. If you inherited a yard with heavy, salty, or completely exhausted dirt, call in the sweet clover. Its massive roots plunge down an insane 8 feet, pumping the ground full of nitrogen. Meanwhile, its essential oils kick nasty wireworms and nematodes right out of the neighborhood. To the kitchen. Dried sweet clover is a legendary old-school spice. It packs a sweet vanilla and fresh-cut hay scent. Toss a pinch into homemade marinades, cocktails, or brew it into a fancy tea. The catch? The seeds have a rock-hard shell. Before sowing, rub them with a handful of sand to rough them up, a little DIY scarification. Don't let it turn into a wild jungle. Mow it down strictly in the budding phase. For totally wrecked soil, this is your absolute best fix. All right, we've nailed down the top 15 cover crops. The selection is massive, with something for every possible soil problem. But simply tossing seeds into the dirt isn't enough. If you want this green cavalry to actually boost next year's harvest, instead of becoming a massive headache, you need to follow the master techniques. Let's dive right into the secret sauce of perfect planting. Rule number 1. Mixes beat monocultures. The first secret to a perfect result: never sow just one type of crop. Monopolies might be great for business, but out in the garden, it's all about teamwork. Planting just one variety is like ordering 3 bowls of the exact same plain soup for dinner. Mix up the plant families. For example, the oats and vetch duo is an absolute classic. Oats provide a sturdy trellis and loosen up the heavy dirt, while the vetch climbs right up and pumps the soil full of free nitrogen. Or try the mustard and oats combo. Mustard aggressively kicks out soil infections and diseases, while oats build soft, crumbly humus. Mixes work 3 times as effectively, knocking out all your soil problems in a single punch. Rule number 2. Timing and mowing. Do not snooze on your deadlines. The biggest rookie mistake is letting your cover crops flower, turning your vegetable bed into a pretty but completely useless flower garden. The exact second the plant blooms, it dumps all its valuable nutrients into making seeds, and the stems harden into tough straw. Instead of juicy, fast-rotting organic matter, you essentially get dry firewood that will take 2 solid years to break down underground. Memorize this timeline. Mow or chop them down strictly 30 to 40 days after they sprout, when the greens hit about 6 to 8 inches tall and are just starting to think about budding. That is the exact moment they hit peak nutritional value. Rule number 3. Tilling or mulching. The third secret is the finish line. Forget about deep tilling and burying that green mass a foot underground. Without oxygen, it will just turn into a sour, rotting mess down there. You have 2 choices. First, the classic route. Slice the greens at the base with a hoe and gently rake them into the top 1 to 2 inches of soil. Second, for the no-dig fans out there, just chop the plants at the soil level and leave them exactly where they fall, like a thick, green carpet. This acts as the ultimate winter mulch, protecting the dirt from wind erosion and deep freezes. Come spring, the earthworms will have turned it all into pure, incredibly rich compost. Listen, we've been focusing on garlic and onion beds simply because they empty out first in the dead of August. But if you have other veggies still ripening out there, don't sweat it. This trick works on literally any patch of dirt. Got an empty bed from early potatoes, cucumbers, zucchini, or lettuce? Sow. Ripping out tomatoes or cabbage in September? Sow. The trick is matching the crop to the weather. In August, while it's still blazing hot, buckwheat, phacelia, vetch, and mustard are absolute rock stars. But if it's already September or early October, just grab the cold weather rescue squad, winter rye, oats, or canola. They'll sprout, set roots, and go to sleep under the snow, doing their job flawlessly. The golden rule here is simple. If you see a patch of naked dirt in the fall, throw some seeds on it. Your soil shouldn't be left crying alone in the autumn rain. Let's wrap this up. As you can see, an empty garden bed after the harvest isn't your cue to take a nap. It's a golden window of opportunity. Soil is a living, breathing organism. Leaving it fully exposed to the elements to dry out, turn into solid concrete, and feed obnoxious weeds is a massive mistake. By planting cover crops right now in August or September, you are making the absolute best investment in next year's harvest. You get free organic matter, perfect aeration, disease protection, and pristine, healthy soil. And you get all of this with zero chemicals and zero back-breaking digging. Pick at least 1 or 2 crops from our list, mix them up, and toss them on those empty patches. Trust me, next spring, when you slice into that dirt and see how incredibly fluffy, crumbly, and packed with earthworms it is, you are going to thank yourself for those 15 minutes of fall garden work. Let me know down in the comments, which cover crops have you already tried, and which ones are you planting this fall? I'll see you next time on The Smart Garden, wishing you massive harvests and incredibly healthy soil.